All right. What's up, everybody? Great Base here. We got the Renewing on Your Mind, 12-2, the reading. I'm in the hospital, as you can see, but I'm going to continue the reading because I brought this here for you. Now, yesterday, or the last time I left off, we left off on contentment. All right, contentment. The imagination gives each of us a total new perspective. Money, fame, and success don't matter. We don't want, and we certainly do not need what this world offers. There's no longer an importance. We see what's truly important in a personal relationship with God through Jesus Christ that lasts now and for all eternity. That's what you need. Power of Christ lies within. You see, I rock my Deadpool because this is what I'm telling you. Deadpool represents the transfiguration of a death. We have to die to self to be reborn to self. So you have to die to yourself to be reborn to get your superpowers. What superpowers enable you? What powers do you have? All of us got a cancer inside that's killing us. What's killing you? What's really bothering you? Are you aware of that, or are you willing to face it? That's why I say we have to embrace all we have and grow. Through pain, we get experience. Through pain, we get growth. Through pain, we learn. If you're not suffering, where are you going? That's why I'm gonna read this last page, but I'm gonna end it up on chapter 9 because I don't want to go too far. I don't want to do too much. I'm in the hospital. Remember, everything is for everything. Now, let's go ahead and get this last one in. This last reading. It's getting hot in here. See? Gotta stand on a knee. Just got it done today. But the power within each one of us gives us sufficient enough energy to increase us, to level up and to face any adverse situation or any adverse thing in our life. Nothing can stop you but you. Who's stopping you from doing what you really want to do? Nothing can stop me. Nothing and nobody. Believe me. All right. So I just read contentment. So we're going to leave off with that. We're going to go to Proverbs 4:23. Be careful what you think because your thoughts ruin your life. For each of us, what we think is truly who we are. What you think is truly who you are. What you fill your mind with is truly who you're going to be. Whether we're tall or short, rich or poor, black or white, male or female, young or old, our thoughts and imaginations determine who we truly are. Whatever you put into your head, what you believe and conceive, you can achieve. Even if it's garbage. You feed your mind garbage, you're gonna live garbage life. You feed your mind with royalty and good stuff, you're gonna live a life of royalty and blessings and bliss. It's up to you. The choice is always yours. Choose or be chosen is my motto. What do you want to choose for yourself? A better life or a stagnant life? Imagination is the ability God has given each of us that it can be used for our own good or for our own harm. It can be used for our own good or for our own harm. Y'all think this is a joke. It ain't no game. It ain't no game. I'm here. I'm here. Imagination is the ability God has given each of us that can be used for our good and for our harm. We must define imagination as the image making facility or faculty of our mind. We might define imagination as the image making faculty of the mind. Imagination molds our minds, our thoughts, our ideas, our attitudes. Our imagination becomes a pattern of thinking and a whole mindset towards life that determines our creativity. What you visualize, eventually, you're going to start living it out. Whatever you fill your mind with, most of the time, you're going to eventually start living it out. That's positive or negative. Everything takes action, whether you're going down or up. You got to choose. Imagination molds our mind, our thoughts, our ideas, our attitudes. Imagination becomes a pattern of thinking, a whole mindset towards life that determines our creativity, our outlook, our self-discipline, our ability to solve problems, and our ability to handle choices we make every day. Your imagination of Christ, you put it on, you know what? You're gonna be a power to reckon with. Hello.
Hi, how you doing, guys?
I'm doing a reading right now. You need me right now? Okay.
No, I'm just checking. How you feeling? Okay.
I'm up and moving.
All right.
Say hi to the people.
Hey,
Whatever. She
how
ain't
you
here. She ain't gonna give
doing?
a camera, but I'm finished. This is my reading of my book to the people. All right. Thank you. All right. Well, she came to check up on me. At least you got somebody that care about the kid. Ha ha. Now, Mama just left. Okay. Albert Einstein said, imagination is the most important knowledge that man can obtain. That's because all of our imagination affects us. They either help us or hurt us. And it's up to each and every one of us how we choose to use our imagination and our mindset. It's up to you, man. It's up to you, lady. It's up to you, whoever I'm talking to. If you're watching this, it's up to you. What you want to do with your life. Jesus knew this in the whole time while he criticized the Pharisees. This is what he says. Our imagination brings us to God as he calls us to come to me. Come to me. Christ says, come to me. Through him, all is inevitable. Everything is accessible. Come to me, and I will give you everything. Our attitudes, our inner imaginations, our inner state of peace and anxiety determine our actions. Everything that we think about determines how we're going to live and what we're going to do. Our actions and our words show that we are really what we really are inside. Inner peace brings about outer peace. You got to have peace within yourself so you can spread peace around yourself. Now, I'm going to break down Deadpool to everybody in just a second because I just want to finish reading this because Deadpool is my dude. And if y'all don't understand how Deadpool can relate to you, I'm going to break it down to you. Jesus knew this when he said, or he criticized the Pharisees, Matthew 23 through 26. You got Matthew 23, verses 25 through 26 states, "Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! Clean the outside of your cup and dish, but the insides are full of greed and selfish indulgences. Blind Pharisees, first clean the inside of your cup and dish, and then the outside will also be clean." Do you understand the renewing of your mind, renewing yourself from the inside out? Once you change the inside dynamics of yourself, nothing can stop the outside from transforming because everything starts from the inside out. The seed grows inside. It breaks. Once it breaks, the plant grows out of the seed. You have to plant the seed first. All right? The cocoon effect, the breaking, that's the pain, that's the torture, that's the transition into the unknown, into the known. So now you start to rise. All right? Keep rising. I don't know why people fall back down. I did a lot of times, but you got to pick yourself up and keep rising. All right, the inside of the cup. Our mindset is what's important. Our imagination determines our actions. Jesus said it bluntly. Matthew 15:19 states, "For out of the heart comes the evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false testimonies, and slander." We all fail. We all fall short. If we let the wrong things direct our thoughts and actions, you know where you're going to end up? Dead or in jail, man. We must open our minds and hearts to the true imagination of life that God is calling us to. God and his eternal promise is meant for us all. It's meant for every last one of us. His mercy and grace is designed for every last one of us. There's no big eyes and little U's. It's all of us. Our thoughts and our patterns of life will mold our life for eternity. We'll be rewarded for our faithfulness when we keep our thoughts trained and focused on him. You will get rewarded for your thoughts. You might not see, what kind of reward are you looking for? I'm looking for eternal peace, eternal discipline, so I can better myself. If I can better myself, then I can better anybody else that I run in contact with. That's what it's all about. Build one another up. Iron sharpens iron. What God really wants is for us in the inner life to be directed towards us, to be directed towards him. What God really wants in our inner life is to be directed towards him. The secret to our daily life is to turn all our thoughts to him so that our most important imagination is always to think on him. Christ Jesus, man. You always supposed to put God first. God, family, others. You get that? Start putting that in your mind. I'm going to read chapter 9 to you next time because that's a long thing. As we will get into chapter 9, it starts talking about the passion. What is that? Chapter 9, Passion for Wisdom of Christ. And that's by Robert Solomon. We'll get into Robert Solomon's words and his quotes next time tomorrow if I'm feeling better. But if not, I'm going to be feeling better. I got Bible study tomorrow. I got to teach Bible study tomorrow or partake in it. But I'll be there. Handicap or not, I'm there. So let me sit down and tell you about this whole thing about Deadpool, since you're asking. Get myself up in there. You see me? All right. Think about it. Now, I don't got to talk too loud because I'm right here on you. Deadpool, he was a narcissist. He was stuck in himself, wasn't he? He loved nothing but himself. He was egotistical. He didn't care about nobody but himself. Then he fell in love, right? And his love of his life started transforming him from the narcissistic attitude. But love also made him want to search out and find out a reason to save himself so he can be with the love of his life. So he goes out to find a cure for himself. As we all should, we should seek. Only the seeker shall find. If you're not looking for a cure for yourself, what's going on inside of you, you're lost. You're stagnant, you're stuck. He went out and looked for a secret or source to cure his cancer. His cancer was cured because he had to die to self first. You understand? He had to really be tortured. They tortured that man to the brick of all pain known to mankind until his superpowers was released. That means he had to die to self to be reborn into his superpowers. Now, once he was reborn, he was burnt up, he was ugly. He didn't find himself attractive. He couldn't go find his wife, the love of his life that he did all the transformation for. He couldn't go back around it because his outward appearance was no longer beautiful. You understand? He started worrying about his objectivity, the things outside of himself, instead of worrying about the things inside of himself, subjectivity. So he hid from the love of his life. He camouflaged himself from her. He spied on her until he started learning his superpowers and he started believing in himself enough to confront her and let her see that it's really him. And you know the whole ill part about it? She never loved him for his appearance. She loved him for him, who he was. That changed that man's life. And he was a superpower with the love of his woman. He found the cure. Now he's got the whole life he wanted. The only thing is he can't go out in public anymore because he's ugly to our standards. So he has to cover himself with a mask. So people won't be so afraid of him. But inside of him, he's changed. He grew a heart. He grew love. And then he found his superpowers from the transition. Okay, see, Christ died to self. Christ had to be resurrected to get his superpowers so we can all be free. You understand? You have to die to self. You have to get out from in front of yourself, get behind yourself, get empowered with the knowledge that Christ gives you within yourself to stand back in front of yourself with that power and spread it. You're never scared of nothing. You're a brave person. You're courageous. Power, courage, strength comes from believing in Christ Jesus, man. You don't know? You don't know the power he gives me? Huh. You see, I'm up and walking. The same day I got the operation, I don't feel no pain, no gain. You know what I mean? You gotta move. You gotta keep moving. Never stay stagnated. Another thing, he became Deadpool. He also became a man with a statue to lead. He became a leader of misfits that he couldn't even stand. He even found a best friend that he didn't even want, a little kid. And at the end of the day, the woman that he loved the most, that he saw in his dreams, told him she was for a season. But his life has a bigger reason. Huh? What? In a dream. So what did he do? He goes back and lives out that dream to be a team player with other super people. See, eagles don't fly alone when they meet up with other eagles. But on their own, they fly and they soar because their stratosphere is so high, pigeons, birds, chickens, and anything else can't soar with an eagle. But when an eagle runs across another eagle, if they don't fight, they click. You know how powerful it is to have a team that's as strong as you are? You're undefeated. That's why I love Deadpool so much. He shows you the transfiguration of Christ on the cross, all twisted up in a sick kids sitcom that they made it all sick and nasty with all the whatever, the stuff, the fugazi stuff they put in there. But if you look through all that bull crap, you'll see the undivided line. We all have a superpower embedded in us. It's up to us to find that and relieve. We got to relive that. We got to let that out. If you're scared to let your superpower out, then what are you? Who are you? Are you a puppet, or are you leading your own path? Are you walking your own path, or are you trying to follow someone else? Are you a sheep, or are you a goat? You know what I'm saying? Sheep fall off the cliff, follow another sheep. Goats pick their head up. Huh. Follow what's inside of you. Christ is calling you. He called me already. He calls me daily. But I want him to call you too. That's why I'm doing this, despite all odds. I love y'all. Y'all stay tuned. I'm going to get back to you. I'm going to heal up. But all in all, the renewing of your mind is stronger than you really care to believe. I pray for you all. I pray for me. Now you pray for me. I love you. God bless.